You know, as an owner, I'm always trying to improve myself.
I think it's important that the leaders in our industry not get complacent and think that they know everything there is to know.
One, the professors were incredible. It has been a long time since I have been just inspired to passion.
I learned more in this 1 week than I had in the past 18 months in the car wash industry.
The truth is, at first it was more about education, but when I got here, immediately you felt that relationship building.
Also, to know that you're not the only one with these problems, that everyone in this business faces them.
The men and women that have attended this program have not only been captains of industry, but incredibly friendly and welcoming and interested in growing this business and growing in relationship with the people that are in it.
This week has far exceeded my expectations.
Now I feel like a Notre Dame fan for life.
It was an amazing opportunity, and I'm very grateful.
Hello everyone, it's Matt DeWolf. Welcome to another episode of Car Wash Magazine Live. I am your host, Editor-in-Chief of Car Wash Magazine, Matt DeWolf. Here we go, guys. All right, so I'm super excited this week. First and foremost, I think maybe we need to talk about the elephant in the room. So, this elephant is actually a gift for me from my sister and... Oh, not that elephant. Yeah, you're right. Not that elephant. Hey, because I love you guys, I'm going to show you something that's got me really excited. And you're going to wonder why I'm showing you this. It's going to make sense. Give it a minute, okay? So, this week was a big week for me because I got a haircut. Okay, so you're looking at it. It was getting a little out of control. Why is that important? Why is that important? It's important because for me, it's a reminder that small things can make a really big difference in the way that you go about your business and how you approach what you're doing every single day. And so whether that's at the wash or in your personal life, whatever you're doing, pay attention to those small things that make you feel good, kind of like cleaning your car. Really kind of relish in those and take that opportunity. We're going to talk a little bit more about small things making big differences here in a minute, but I do want to talk about some other things that have me excited this week. So, one thing is you may have, if you're on the on the social media, you probably saw a little bit of information coming out around ICA. A new offering from ICA under the Women's Leadership Experience brand, the Women's Leadership Certificate Program. I'm going to mess that up all the time, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to try it again. Women's Leadership Certificate Program. It's a great opportunity for females in this industry to get a really high caliber program. Look into that. More information is coming soon. If you've been to a previous Women's Leadership Experience event, that information was shared in your all's group on Facebook, so check that out. There's information on Talk Car Wash. More information coming from ICA later this week. Okay, the other thing that has me really excited because it's got like a super tangible, super high energy around it right now, and operators in the industry don't necessarily know this part. We just did space selection. We've got a couple more days still of it for the Car Wash Show 2021, and I mean it is going so well. There's so much energy and so much excitement around the opportunity that we have in 2021 to get together again, and so it's palpable. I'm excited for that. I still stand behind. The 2021 Car Wash Show is going to be the best show that we've ever had. So super excited for that. Guys, I did want to mention at the top of this program, you did see the teaser video for the Executive Management Institute. That's another ICA program that they offer. Really great opportunity for you to develop your people. Those dates, November 1 through 6. Make sure you check that out if you're interested. Okay, now it's time for everybody's, at least my, favorite segment. We got jokes. We got jokes. We got jokes. All right. So, if you have a joke, send it to me, mdewolf@carwash.org. Remember, if you don't send me your jokes, you get my jokes. That's how that works. Okay. This week, our joke is, do you want to hear a solid water joke? Ice. Yeah. All right. You know, they can't all be rock stars. Sometimes you just got to resort to elementary humor. But we're going to move right into the rest of the program here. Yeah, on the line, I'm bringing him in with me right now. We've got Isaac Lee from Soapy Joe's in California. Isaac, welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So you're saving everybody from my jokes. So thank you for that.
Anytime.
We're gonna have a great conversation here. I'm really looking forward to this one. Before we get too far down this path, can you just kind of share with everyone a little bit about your path to the industry and give us a little background about Soapy Joe's?
Yeah, absolutely. I was a career Marine Corps officer, retired as Lieutenant Colonel a little over 3 years ago. Originally went to work as the chief operating officer for another company. Did that for about a year, was having a good time. Just randomly got a call one day and said that a company would like to speak with me. So took the meeting. Turned out it was Soapy Joe's. And within the first few minutes, I knew that I wanted to be part of it. You know, our owner started this a little over 2 decades ago, branded it about a decade ago, has been methodically growing it ever since. Great guy, our CEO, Lauren Zatisha. And it was just, he had a great plan and it was going and I wanted to jump on board. And, you know, we just opened our 12th site this past month with plans for more, and things are going very well for us. We're very excited about the future.
So let's talk a little bit about that growth. 12 locations and not too much time, right? I mean, you guys are on a pretty aggressive path.
We are trying to keep up with boss.
the demands come down from the top sometimes, right? Yeah,
absolutely. Our job is to keep up with them.
So, so tell me a little bit about kind of what's been key for you all as you've grown the operation and as you've kind of expanded from 1 to 2 to 4 to 6 to 12 now.
Well, I think at every step along the way, you run into different obstacles. I know I've heard him talk about, it got challenging when you got to 8, even harder when you got to 10. So something we started really focusing on about 18 months ago was just simplifying our processes to the max extent possible so that, we really feel like our responsibility is to put our teams in a position to succeed. And one of the things we can do operationally to do that is just to make it as simple as we can for them, make it efficient. The analogy I use is instead of having a big elaborate game plan for a football game, we just want to be perfect at running, say, 3 to 5 plays and go win just running those perfectly. So we've done a lot of things with our processes, even our morning routine. We've made that extremely efficient. And I was fortunate that I was actually able to give our team an example. I took our district managers and our operations director over to Marine Corps Air Station Miramar and let them watch a live squadron do a morning maintenance brief. Like how do you get 200 Marines focused in the right direction to go fix a bunch of aircraft? And they do that brief in about 15 minutes. So after our people were able to see that, I was able to turn around and go, hey, we should be able to do this. If they can do it 15, we can do it in 5. And so how do we get all of the pertinent information there to set our teams up for success right out of the gate, first thing in the morning, and then go execute? So everything we do, we're trying to think of it that way. Just keep it really simple, keep it very efficient, very direct, keep the main thing, and then let our teams do what they do because they do a great job of it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that approach because, it's really easy to, especially in this industry, we're really good at making a process and we want to make it really solid and really, really in depth. And so we'll start making these really complicated processes that start to actually get in our way, right?
Absolutely.
So
yeah,
tell me real quick. I want to know. I want to know how you avoid, you'd say mission creep a little bit, right? How do you avoid that kind of process creep?
To be honest with you, I would say I'm the person on our executive team that is firmly in that camp to the point where my peers make fun of me quite a bit. Like I'm the one that's always in the corner saying too wordy, too much, too long, make it shorter, give it to me in one word. And you can't go as extreme as I would like to go. Of course, we come to some balance there, but I literally feel like it's my responsibility on behalf of our teams to do that. So I'm constantly trying to make it simple, make it less, make it easier, give it to me. We need to be able to explain this in a sentence that they understand and can execute off of.
Yeah, it's got to be straightforward. It's got to be straightforward and got to resonate, and it's got to be done quickly, right?
Absolutely.
The the other piece of that is the people, right? I mean, you have to have the right people on the bus to be able to kind of work that way. Tell me a little bit about your all's approach to people in general.
Absolutely. By far and away the most important thing. And my favorite thing about the industry is that this seems to be really a theme across the industry, which is great. But, people are the most important thing to us, basic philosophy. And, one of our primary values is leading with heart. And what that really means is we want to genuinely care about our team, everybody on the team, make sure that they feel that, because when they feel it, they'll in turn pass it on to our members, our customers, so it gets passed on to everybody, and then it boils all the way out to the community if you do that appropriately. So we really focus on recruiting people that can function that way and spend a lot of time training our leaders and managers to lead that way so that it resonates throughout the entire organization.
What are some of the ways that you're doing a good job, right? I mean, you recruit the people in, you get them going. How do you know that it's working, or that they're feeling the vibe that you're trying to put out, right?
I would actually say our best example so far is what happened in the wake of the pandemic starting. We give leadership classes as part of our training to our managers, and I'm personally lead those. And one of the ones that we hit last year was how adversity is a great team builder, and that if you handle it appropriately, it will actually make your team better and stronger. And it's a good thing. It's not something that you should be afraid of. So when the pandemic hit, we were able to anchor back to that, sit down as a team and say, hey, we talked about this and how valuable this can be. And this is actually a good thing for us if we handle it appropriately. It was really just a quick refresher on what we discussed before. And then we just let our leaders go lead, and they all did it exactly the way you would want them to do it. They were calm, they were cool, they embraced the challenge, and their teams, fed off of them so that everybody was calm. Everyone was cool. Everyone was thinking. We were acting appropriately. And that was probably the most rewarding thing I've seen from our company throughout the entire time I've been here, is just how well everyone has handled that and worked through it to this point. It's been amazing.
Yeah, there's no clearer example, right? I mean, it's almost like you should just take a break, right? Step back and say, man, we did it. We got it. We got it figured out.
It's gone eerily smooth, yes. But I tell them thank you every day for how they've handled it. Like, they did it perfectly. But I really think that has a lot to do with the fact that we talked about it ahead of time. We trained to it ahead of time. We had lengthy conversations. And we'd already really worked to establish a good trust and respect with our team, which is also a big part of the people thing. And we push our leaders in that way, too, that trust and respect is important, but you have to earn it. There's no having a title or a position doesn't grant you anything other than courtesy. You have to go earn that trust and respect from the people you're responsible for. And we'd already established that as well. So the team was very bought in. So as we, adjusted procedures, brought procedures back, we already had established that trust, that caring environment. Our leaders were leading in the exact way we wanted to. We were able to capitalize on the adversity. And at this point, I feel like it might be one of the best things that's ever happened to us, like working through this.
That's such a positive story, and such a good thing for people to hear right now, because a lot of folks are still trying to struggle through some of this stuff, and being able to know that, hey, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, you are going to come out the other side, and it can be a real opportunity for you.
It really can. I couldn't be more proud of our teams, especially those in the field, and how they've handled and done this. I mean, we even opened a brand new site at the 1st of May, right in the middle of all of it, and that went very smooth as well. So, at this point, we feel like no matter what happens, we're going to be okay. We're going to find a way to navigate it.
Well, and a big part of that, right, for you all is giving people a path in your company that shows them that a job at the car wash is more than a job. It can be a career. And I know you guys have this manager and training program. Can you just share a little bit of the details around that?
Absolutely. So, I mean, that program predates me, but we're constantly tweaking it and adding to it. And it has all the standard stuff that I'm sure every other company has in their manager and training program. There's a technical aspect on how does the equipment work. There's classes on human resources and the things you're supposed to do. But to me, the part I'm most passionate about, I'm totally biased, is the leadership classes and discussions that we do as part of that, to ensure that we're really focusing on those soft skills and how we want to lead and how we want to treat our people and how we can get the most out of our people and develop them for whatever they're going to do in the future, whether that's for us or moving on to somebody else. We want everyone that's been a part of our team at someday when they leave here to look back and say, that was awesome being part of that organization. I grew a lot. I learned a lot. So we really push our leaders to create that environment. And I put the responsibility on myself, being in charge of the predominant number of people in the company, that I have to provide that environment for our leaders. They in turn do it for all of our employees. It really starts in that MIT program training is key to that.
So you guys talk a lot about leading with heart, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me what that means.
So it really means to us creating an environment of true trust and respect and caring for the people that you're responsible for. And I know that with my personal background, people don't expect me to say things like that. You know, the standard assumption is I'm going to be yelling and kicking over desks or something, which could be further from how I actually function. But it really is impressing upon all of our leaders that, hey, at the end of the day, it's about, getting on what you might call Maslow's level 3, right? Where that emotional well-being of your employees. And if you're affecting that in a positive way, then you really have something there. And once you establish that, everything else has a funny way of working itself out. But you have to be very intentional about it. You have to work at it every day. You have to practice it every day. And in doing so, you create that environment of trust, respect, caring. Everyone feels bought in. It creates a great feeling of team and really kind of a familial feeling for everybody as being part of the organization.
I love the succinctness of that message, which I'm sensing a little bit of a trend for you. There's that things you want them succinct, right? Like
full disclosure,
lead with heart, simplify process. Yeah.
Everyone makes fun of me all the time for being so succinct.
That's okay, because that brings me to the next thing. That's another one of these pieces for you all. That's kind of a guiding principle is build community. Again, it's not a long phrase. It's build community. Talk a little bit about how Soapy Joe's does that. I love this story. I think people really need to hear it. Absolutely.
We put a significant amount of effort into building a community and being part of the community that we're in. And we try to do that in a very intentional way. So a good example I'll give is we actually did a survey of our members to find out, like, hey, what issues are important to you? One of the things they came back with was that hunger was an issue that was important to them. We took that and participated in a Feeding San Diego drive-in concert at Petco Park a month ago. We created a Soapy Gives 100 to 100 members promotion where we literally went out and bought a ton of gift cards, and every day we selected members that would win, $100 worth of gift cards to local restaurants and for gas. So we were addressing hunger. We were, pushing them to other businesses here in the local community. And then plugging into the military community here in San Diego is also very important to us. San Diego County has a population just over 3 million, but it also has the largest military population in the country. So we've got 100,000 active duty between Navy and Marine Corps, 300,000 veterans, and then all their family members. You're growing up to about 1 million people. So literally a third of the local population has a direct tie to the military. So it's important to us that we stay tied to that as well. And so, we've done outreach, we've done promotions, we do a big Veterans Day promotion in partnership with a local charity that's, in our opinion, the best military nonprofit in San Diego, where we give free washes to veterans and make a huge deal out of it, raise money for them. And we also obviously love to recruit and hire veterans for our team. I mean, at this point, over a third of our operations managers are actually former military. Almost all of them are Navy, Marine Corps, and veterans, and they tend to do a great job with us. They're great employees.
The thing I love most about what you just said is that you all took the time to really understand your community. You didn't just go out and say, well, I think, there's veterans, so let's do a lot of veteran stuff. You knew that. Obviously you have the background to know that and the research there in front of you, but you took that extra step of actively listening and reaching out to the folks in the community and saying, hey, like, what are you seeing? Like, what's on your mind? And then one more step, instead of just listening, you did something about it. You took action.
Absolutely. And we even tried to do that this year. Every year we do a big promotion. The third Thursday in April is Soapy Joe's Day. That's like an actual proclamation from the mayor. And typically it's just a big party, and we anyone who shows up, we'll give them a free car wash. This year, because of the pandemic, we wanted to be more intentional about that as well. So we adjusted it and just made it free car washes for healthcare workers and first responders starting on that day. But then we ran it for 3 weeks until Nurses Day, knowing how busy that those people were, so that they had time to come take advantage of it. In conjunction with that, we made a sizable donation to one of the local hospitals for COVID relief efforts. Ended up washing about 8,000 cars. But that's another example. And we have a great team of people here that's very thoughtful and spends a lot of time on this. Our marketing department and our vice president there, Ann Mahler, is incredible, and her team's incredible. So they spend a ton of time making sure that we're doing this the right way, being very intentional. We all collaborate. We talk to our members. We talk to the community. It's really important to us to be part of it in a way that means something.
Isaac, so much great information in that. I'm gonna give folks a look at your new location here in a minute, but I'm gonna ask you to hang with me there so that we can ask and answer any questions that might come up during that time.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, I want to share a pretty remarkable story with you all coming from Zane Roper about I guess what happens when you don't keep your head on a swivel at the wash.
All right, my favorite car wash story is our second location. It was in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. It had a creek that ran along the back of the property. The manager's name was Dean King. He hated snakes and had a slick bald head, and we saw snakes from time to time from the creek. One day he was in the tunnel working on something, walked in the equipment room, and went to wash his hands. There was a water line over the sink. He didn't know it, but there was a snake on the water line. He leaned forward to wash his hands in the sink, and a snake fell, hit it right on top of his bald head, and landed right in the sink. He screamed, ran out of the equipment room like a little girl, and we all still laugh about it today. It was awesome.
So I don't know if it would be worse if he had looked up actually and like saw the snake coming off of the water line, or if it was okay to not see it coming and then just feel it on your head and take off. So good story there from Zane. Remember, if you all have a story to share, you can answer either what is your favorite car wash memory, or what have you learned in 2020? And we are featuring those on upcoming episodes of this program. And you can submit those answers to our questions at carwash.org/vidquest. Okay. All right. Stop. Tour time. Here is the new Soapy Joe's location in Fallbrook, California. Sitting on a really nice lot here. Here we're seeing some of the tasteful interior treatments that help really set the tone for the employees here, with a nice break room area, as well as a really nicely done training space for employees that emphasizes Soapy Joe's commitment to their people. This all carries through the consumer-facing side of the facility as well, as it really feels like a place you want to spend time. Here we've got a nice shot of the entry to the tunnel. The signage work here is really going to pop. And I love the attention to detail here as they showcase customer-centric messages like showroom shine and clean car feeling. I love that approach to speaking directly with your customers in language they understand. All right, so that was a quick look, like a super quick look, and I'm really eager to get the rest of it. So we're going to share a full version of that tour at a later date. But one of the things that really stands out to me, just even from the photography that you all shared, Isaac, is that that focus on the people comes through even in what you do at your facilities. So super excited to see the rest of it. Tell me, what are you most excited about with that new location?
I think I would say the thing we're most excited about is just being in yet another community. You know, Fallbrook is a tad north of San Diego. We weren't located there before, so it's one more community that we can become a part of and be a positive thing for everybody there. Be a part of everything that's going on. Our team members that are up there have embraced that fully, and our membership base is quickly growing. It's a very good situation.
So how long have you guys been open at that location now?
We opened that location on May 1st.
May 1st, okay.
In the middle of everything else happening.
So any plans for more during any more pandemics?
Actually, yes. Yeah. We're a few weeks out from number 13. So
okay, nice.
We're continuing to push forward. Everything's good.
That's super exciting. Hey, before I let you off the hook today, I do have one more question for you. This is an easy one. What keeps you coming back to car wash every day? What gives you hope?
Honestly, the thing that motivates me, and I hope it motivates the rest of our team, is just the people. You know, I feel an innate sense of responsibility that I work for them. My job is to push them in a position to succeed, and I take that seriously, and I really enjoy it. So I'm available 7 days a week. I work quite a bit. I would say my wife gives me a bit of a hard time sometimes. Like, do you really still need to be doing this? And I'm, yes, it's important. You know, I have to be available, but it's good. And they keep me going. Great group of people. It's a pleasure to serve them and to work for them. And that's really it. I mean, as long as I have that, I'm happy.
Well, that's you're in the right place for it, right? I mean, this industry will keep you fulfilled. That's for sure.
Yeah, great people around. Everyone I've met, it's just outstanding. Not only in our organization, but peers I've met from other companies. It's been a very great experience.
So I lied. I do have one more question because you opened the door for it. So at the top of this program, we talked about the Executive Management Institute. We did the first one last year. You went.
Yep.
What was that like?
Awesome experience. Can't say enough good things about the University of Notre Dame. The program itself was great. Professors were great. But really my biggest takeaway, like the greatest value for me was just meeting all the other operators there, establishing those relationships, and then trading ideas, not only throughout the week, but just about everybody that was in that class. I've reached back out to and communicated with over the course of the last year about something. And in some cases, that's just hey, how's it going? But it's awesome to have those contacts and that collaboration and know those people. Outstanding group of people. I would definitely happy that I went.
Yeah, shameless plug there, but I think you hit on some key things there about how quickly by going to some of these car wash events you can really expand your network in meaningful ways.
Absolutely. I'm sure I'll get emails from half of them making fun of me as soon as this is over.
And that's how you know you made a good friend.
I would expect that.
Awesome. Hey, Isaac, thank you so much for spending the time with us today. I really appreciate you taking this opportunity with me to tell your story, and I'm looking forward to more great things out of you all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Awesome, Isaac. Hey, we're gonna switch real quick now, and we're gonna give you all a tip from our partner over at Infinity HR, Claudia St. John.
Hi, I'm Claudia St. John. I'm the president of Affinity HR Group. We are your HR partner and resource. So the summer months are here, and with it, many of the states and jurisdictions that have been locked down over the last few months are beginning to reopen. So with that added flexibility, a lot of employers are bringing their employees back to work, those that were not considered essential employees in the past or those who were working remotely. We've been getting a lot of questions now, though, because a lot of employees, having been locked up for a long time, are eager to be out and about. That's wonderful, except for the fact that the coronavirus is also still out and about. So we've been getting a lot of questions from employers about whether or not they can require an employee or prohibit an employee for going on vacation, let's say to the Lake of the Ozarks or to Florida, because of the concern of the risk of coronavirus. Or can they require that they quarantine on their way back? There is no real guidance on this. The best guidance we've received from the CDC is from pre-quarantine, where the virus was just coming over and we were looking at what to do with employees who had been in and around hotspots. Our best advice for you is to talk with your employees about their travel plans. The CDC has a very strong interactive map where you can go in and zero in on a county by county basis to see what the prevalence of COVID is in those areas, being mindful of the fact that many of those statistics underreport the COVID cases because there is not as much testing in some parts of the United States as there are in, say, New York or Washington, D.C. So what we would encourage you to do is talk to your employees about their destinations, talk to them about what they intend to do, what kind of activities they intend to participate in. And if they intend to go and sort of just hang out on the beach and have a wonderful time, talk to them about perhaps needing to quarantine on their way back. If that's something that you're going to require, you want to make sure you have that conversation with them and let them know that if you are going to require a quarantine, that may be as a result taking out that time from an employee's paid time off. You may want to consider paying it yourself because it's something that you are requiring and a governmental health or medical professional is not requiring it. But if you're doing so in order to maintain a safe and healthy workplace, and they're doing so knowing that this time off may be counted against their PTO, you want to make sure that you have those conversations. Also, you should know that you can require antibody and COVID tests now. This is a new EEOC guideline that didn't exist earlier, but there are a lot of issues and concerns related to that we have. So before you do any of that medical testing, before you go beyond health screening or temperature checking, and you get into the realm of blood draws, COVID tests, or antibody tests, we encourage you to reach out to us because there are a lot of things that need to be considered with that. I hope this is helpful. I hope we're all enjoying just a little bit of sunshine, and we hope that you have a safe and productive work week. Take care.
All right, everybody. So super great counsel there from Claudia St. John in terms of just one of the many things that are going to be a little bit different here from an HR perspective as we come out on the other side of this pandemic. And really, so a great resource that the ICA has for you all with Claudia St. John and Affinity HR. She comes to a lot of our events and speaks at a lot of our programs. So really thankful for her being part of this effort for us. So that's going to be it for this week, my friends. If you want to find more episodes of this program, you can do that at carwashmagazine.com. You can watch old shows on Facebook. You can watch them on YouTube. We will make sure they are available wherever you are. One other thing I want to remind everybody about, if you want a little bit of a different take on some of these stories or other stories going on in the industry, we also have Car Wash the Podcast available wherever you listen to your podcasts, and you can hear what David Begin and I are talking about over there. Until next time, everybody, keep it clean.